Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. The headlines.
IGP meets with top senior police officers in Abuja. Our news commentary tonight focuses on employment generation, an antidote to rising cases of insecurity. Paris advises citizens to leave Pakistan in
I am Nkiru Obuli with the details of the news. One of the co-conveners of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Aisha Yusufu, has condemned others and those who kept quiet over the abduction of Chibok schoolgirls. Yusufu said the silence and doubts of many Nigerians gave the abductors boldness to continue attacks on innocent citizens. The human rights activist stressed that it is the duty of the government to protect its citizens and more efforts should be channeled towards securing their release. 7 years after the abduction of 276 schoolgirls from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State, and many human rights groups and campaigners have continued to call for their return. Although most of the 276 girls escaped or were later released, more than 112 girls are still missing. The hashtag Bring Back Our Girls campaign group has since vowed not to relent in their campaign for the release of all the schoolgirls. It is now 7 years that the Chibok girls were kidnapped. Chairman, Senate Committee on Army, Senator Ali Njume, says the government is not resting on its oars in rescuing the girls. Njume, in an exclusive interview with Clearview TV's Nii Maris this Thursday in Abuja, said those 7 years is a long time. The government is assuring the parents and Nigerians that the government will ensure that the girls return to their homes.
On April 14, 2014, Boko Haram government seized 276 girls aged between 12 and 17 from government girls secondary school in the remote town of Chibok, Borno State. Several more mass kidnappings of school children have occurred in northern Nigeria since the Chibok experience, resulting in hundreds of schools being shut in a region where the literacy rates and school enrollment are already very low. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, estimates that about 10.5 million children between the ages of 5 and 14 are out of school in Nigeria. Chairman Senate Committee on Army, Ali Ndome, said the government has not given up on the girls.
We are hoping that the government will intensify action and to make sure that the Chibok girls are returned. And as even the parents say, whether they are dead or alive, people will want to know the status of their children. And we are grieved. The 112 girls are still out there. We don't know their status. And I think the government said they are doing something, and we believe they are doing something. And the state government is also doing, everybody is concerned about it. We continue to pray that these girls are still there and will be back to their parents.
Some Nigerians that spoke clearly with television, however, said they don't have confidence in the government in bringing home the girls. They hope on divine intervention.
I'm still expecting that maybe government will do the needful so that they should be free, that one day they shall come back. Though we still have the belief that most of them have been giving birth to maybe one or two kids now.
We now rely on the promise of government. 7 years after, the children are still somewhere unknown. 7 years after, and they are promising to bring them back. We're not going to rely on their promises. We only hope on God.
It's very, very unfortunate, and that even our military are giving up. Where we're celebrating their 7 years in captivity, you can hear news emanating from that part of the country are not palatable too. Over 120 civilians running away from Nigeria into neighboring Niger Republic. Then, what gives you the hope that those ones who are under captivity will soon rejoin their parents? So these are the issues.
Amnesty International has documented at least 5 more abductions of school children between December 2020 and March 2021. Niyi Mara Yesa, reporting for Clearview Television.
The Rivers State Executive Council has said that the police authority or men of the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad are involved in brutality and other human rights violations should compensate their victims. The decision was taken after the five-man committee set up by Rivers State Governor Yesom Wike to formulate a draft white paper on the recommendations of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry that investigated brutality and violation of fundamental human rights of citizens by the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad in the state, submitted its report to the Executive Council at the Government House, Port Harcourt. Briefing journalists after the council meeting presided over by Governor Wike, Rivers State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN, said the state should not bear the burden because the police was not part of the government. The Attorney General explained that the Executive Council also directed his office to liaise with the judiciary in ensuring that quarterly reports were submitted to his office in respect of the provision under the administration of criminal justice law. According to him, some of those provisions require that on monthly basis, the Commissioner of Police informs the Attorney General about the number of persons held in police custody and the reasons. Lawmakers in the Senate have condemned the recent killings by gunmen suspected to be herdsmen in Ebonyi State. They also called on the federal government and authorities in the state to put appropriate measures in place to forestall the reoccurrence of such an incident. These formed part of the resolutions of the lawmakers when the issue came up during Wednesday's plenary at the upper chamber of the National Assembly in Abuja. The lawmakers also resolved to observe a minute's silence in honor of the victims of the various attacks and the affected communities. They directed the police and other relevant security agencies to carry out comprehensive investigations into the incidents, as well as promptly arrest and prosecute the perpetrators and rescue kidnapped victims that were held captive by the assailants. The senators asked the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to immediately provide relief materials to the families and victims, the displaced persons, and the affected communities. They made the resolutions after Senator Sam Egu cited Order 42 and 52 to seek the leave of the Senate to present a motion. Members of the Nigerian Governors Forum (NJS) or NGF rather have called for a special review of the nation's security challenges for an in-depth understanding of the enormity of the situation. They made the call at a meeting presided by the NGF chairman and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi at the State House, Abuja. Briefing reporters after the meeting, which lasted till about midnight, Governor Fayemi explained that a special review of the security crisis was necessary to further engage the federal authorities at the political and security levels and to find a solution to insecurity in the land. He noted the rising concerns by the forum following incidents of attack on correctional and police facilities in Imo State, the killing of soldiers in Benue, and successive acts of violence across the country, among others. Nigeria witnessed increased insecurity recently as a result of the alarming rate of attacks by bandits and insurgents in the north and attacks on security facilities in the south. At least three police facilities, including the state command's headquarters, came under attack in Imo in April, while no fewer than 1,800 inmates were released by gunmen at the Owerri Custodial Center in the state capital. Pockets of violence were also recorded in other southern states, including Oyo, Ogun, and Rivers, while dozens of villages were attacked by bandits in Kaduna, Zamfara, and Benue, among others. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Al Ali, met with commissioners of police and other senior police officers in Abuja to address the various security challenges bedeviling the country. The meeting, which took place at the International Peacekeeping Center behind the police force headquarters, is being attended by Deputy Inspectors General of Police (DIGs), Assistant Inspector Generals of Police, among other top senior police officers. The meeting is expected to x-ray the conscious activities of bandits, kidnappers, and other criminals disturbing the peace of the country and re-strategize to arrest the situation. It is expected that new state commissioners of police will be appointed at the end of the meeting. The federal government this Thursday said the issuance of new SIM cards will resume on April 19 as long as verification is done and the guidelines are fully adhered to. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy communicated this in a statement signed by Femi Ademuluyi, a technical aide to Minister Isa Pantami. The government suspended the activity in December of 2020 as it embarked on an audit of the subscriber registration database. The Communications Ministry said at the time that the audit exercise was important in order to verify and ensure compliance by mobile network operators with set quality standards and requirements of SIM card registration. The resumption of new SIM card issuance comes as the country is set to implement a revised national digital identity policy for SIM card registration. Former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayeshi, said there is more than meets the eyes when it comes to the issue of Governor Sheyi Makinde and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the Southwest. Fayeshi was of the opinion that while Governor Makinde looks quiet, he is deadly. The former Ekiti State governor's comment was in reaction to a viral video that showed some thugs threatening to kill him if he attends the PDP Congress, which held recently in Osun State. According to Fayoshe, the thugs who were making the threats were associated with Governor Makinde of Oyo State. When confronted with the fact that the video also shows the character and quality of the people in the PDP, Fayoshe said it is shameful, stressing that thuggery is disgraceful for the party. We'll now go on a short break and bring you more reports shortly. Please stay.
Clearview TV is online.
Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News.
We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja.
But the daily 7 p.m. news is broadcast on DSTV channel 255, MITV, with particular reference to gainful employment for all. You can also link up as you like us on Facebook, Clearview Television, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV.
You're welcome back and moving on. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo has challenged Muslim faithfuls to rededicate themselves to the virtues of love, kindness, and generosity, regardless of faith or ethnicity, during the period of fast. Speaking to State House correspondents after the weekly federal Oshibajo said the Ramadan is not only a period to drinks and worldly pleasures, but a time to be God.
This is not the time for abstinence from food and other worldly pleasures, but also a time for us to rededicate ourselves to to higher virtues, kindness, love, generosity towards each other as brothers and sisters, regardless of faith or ethnicity. And also for our nation, a time, I believe, to recommit ourselves to unity, to brotherhood, to peace and reconciliation in various ways, so that our country will achieve all of the objectives that we've set for ourselves.
The vice president urged Muslims to recommit themselves to the advancement of unity, brotherhood, and peace in Nigeria. Now, unemployment is one of the most serious problems facing Nigeria. It has contributed to the rise in cases of insecurity, and this calls for serious concern. Clearview TV can therefore unequivocally say that high unemployment rate is slowing down the pace of development in all sectors. As a result of our mandate, which is gainful employment for all, we are calling on governments at all levels to urgently address the country's unemployment crisis. The private sector is not left out.
Unemployment is not just another serious economic issue, but equally has social implications that affect almost all countries and all the citizens, either directly or indirectly. It is the root cause of spate of crimes, endless youth unrest, and unstable socioeconomic structure bedeviling several nations. Right now, Nigeria is currently facing serious job challenges and widespread decent work deficits. The unemployment rate, we believe, shouldn't have risen to this level as a result of many factors, which include paying lip service to issue of employment by various governments and policy somersault. What a government puts in place today will be changed tomorrow when another government being controlled by another party gets to power. We're therefore pleased to announce to you that as some TV stations specialize in sports, business, entertainment, and more, Clearview TV is specializing in gainful employment for all, and our 7 p.m. news slot is the meeting point through our YouTube page, Clearview TV, and DSTV Channel 255, MITV. Through our research, Clearview TV has discovered some very dependable allies of the Nigerian government. They are working assiduously to see that the Nigerians around them are gainfully employed. Locally, we give kudos to the National Directorate of Employment, where Abubakar Nuhu Fipo took over from Dr. Nasiru Argungu as the Director General. Here, rural employment promotion is one of the core program departments. Another vibrant ally is the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. The 18th Director General is Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, DSS, PhD, MTRCN. His belief is that Youth Corps members should develop skills and embrace the dignity of labor while striving towards self-employment. He is always fond of telling his people, don't wait for white-collar jobs. There is also SMEDAN, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria. It was established to promote the development of micro, macro, and medium enterprises in the country. The Honorable Minister of State, Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, is a force to be reckoned with here. Not long ago, he launched the Special Public Works Program, 774,000 jobs. The Bank of Industry, BOI, is all about soft landing. The bank provides access to funds for startups, SMEs, and large enterprises. Let's go international now, and our first port of call is ILO, International Labour Organization. The main objectives in Africa are to promote rights at work, encourage decent employment opportunities, enhance social protection, and strengthen dialogue on work-related issues. The primary function of African Development Bank, AFDB, is making loans and equity investments for the socio-economic advancement of the regional member countries. It also provides technical assistance for developmental projects and programs. And third, AFDB promotes investment of public and private capital development. And now, to the big question. Do you make the list of these genuine allies of government in job creation and sustenance, national and international NGOs, agencies, embassies, political office holders, governors, state and national lawmakers, either senators or reps, captains of industry, and more. Contact us through this email, clearviewnewsroom@gmail.com, or WhatsApp number 0806 5030
Nigeria and United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, this Thursday in Abuja signed a memorandum of understanding on United Nations projects in Nigeria. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who signed on behalf of Nigerian government, said the MOU will assist Nigeria to meet up with the MDG's goals.
It's a pleasure for the country to host another arm of the United Nations, the United Nations Office for Program Services, or Project Services, rather. And, very important, don't know whether to call it an agency or arm of the United Nations that plays a very important role in helping countries to implement projects to help towards the achievement of sustainable development goals. And of course, our country, government, is absolutely determined to attain all the SDGs within the requisite time frame.
UN Ops Director and Representative Ifeoma Charles Monwuba said the United Nations Office for Project Services is committed to partnering Nigeria in addressing the infrastructure deficit and fighting the COVID-19 pandemic fallouts.
We believe this agreement is timely, given the increasing presence of UNOPS in Nigeria. Just 2 days ago, UNOPS launched a new project in Borno State to provide life-saving oxygen therapy to support the COVID response and the treatment of children suffering from respiratory illnesses, so that unnecessary deaths can be prevented in the future. Under our Sustainable Infrastructure Impact Investing Initiative, the S3I, we are in discussion with some states in Nigeria to mobilize investments for affordable housing in those states. We've already started off with Ekiti State.
Nigeria is considered a high priority country for UN ops, being a fragile country with a complex development profile and possessing a high risk of humanitarian emergencies and disasters. One of the infrastructure UN ops is handling in Nigeria is the housing project in Ekiti State. The federal government has blamed the media and some unpatriotic Nigerians for the choice of Ghana over Nigeria for the siting of Twitter's continental headquarters. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said the development will serve as a lesson for Nigerians to be patriotic in managing the image of the country. Mohammed said Nigeria, with about 25 million Twitter users, as against Ghana's 8 million users, it was a natural expectation that Nigeria would have been the choice by Twitter to locate its headquarters for the continent. The minister said he was pleased with the U.S. report, which vindicated the Nigerian government that no single life was lost at the Lekki toll gate, as opposed to what the majority of the media reported. Mohammed said it is what the insiders say about their country that the outsider will use to judge and condemn the country. He said the development will serve as a lesson for people to be patriotic and manage the image of the country better. The US based social media company Twitter on Monday announced Accra, Ghana as its choice for the location of its headquarters for Africa. Twitter's chief executive officer, Jack Dorsey, had made the announcement via his Twitter handle. Delta State, the winner of the 2020 National Sports Festival, will host the next edition of the festival in 2022. This is according to the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, who announced this on Wednesday while declaring the 20th edition of the festival, tagged Edo 2020, closed in Benin City. The minister said, following the evaluation of the bids and the fiscal visitation to the prospective states, Delta State has been announced as the next host of the National Sports Festival in 2022. The governor congratulated the government and people of Delta State for emerging the preferred state and wished them best of luck in the organization of the 21st National Sports Festival. From sports to the foreign scene, South Africa's ex-president Jacob Zuma has declined a court directive to suggest how he should be punished if found guilty of defying an order to testify in a corruption hearing. Zuma, accused of enabling runaway graft during his tenure in office, ignored a constitutional court order to testify before a commission investigating the graft allegations. Last week, the Turb court directed Zuma to suggest an appropriate sentence after the panel sought a 2-year jail term for contempt. The 79-year-old had until Wednesday to make the suggestion, but the defiant Zuma chose to send a scathing 21-page letter to Chief Justice Mogweng, criticizing the judiciary instead. Zuma said he had thought long and hard about the directive and had decided against filing an affidavit. He had already skipped a hearing last month. The French embassy in Pakistan this Thursday advised all French nationals and companies to temporarily leave the country after violent anti France protests paralyzed large parts of the country this week. Anti French sentiments had been simmering for months in Pakistan since the government of President Emmanuel Macron expressed support for a magazine's right to republish cartoons depicting Prophet Muhammad, deemed blasphemous by many Muslims. Only on Wednesday, the Pakistani government moved to ban an extremist political party whose leader had called for the expulsion of the French ambassador. Saad Rizvi, a leader of Tariq al-Labaik Pakistan TLP, was detained hours after making his demands, bringing thousands of his supporters to the streets in cities across Pakistan. 2 police officers died in the clashes, which saw water cannon, tear gas, and rubber bullets used to hold back crowd. The TLP are notorious for holding days-long violent road protests over blasphemy issues, causing major disruptions to the country. And that's all on the news. Before we go, a quick recap of our main stories.
Various security challenges affecting Nigeria formed the high points of the meeting the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al Ali, had with commissioners of police and other senior police officers in Abuja. As Clearview TV concludes arrangements to start job creation broadcasts, correspondents examined how unemployment has contributed to the growing spate of security challenges facing the nation. We also told you that the French embassy in Pakistan has advised all French nationals and companies to temporarily leave the country after violent anti-France protests paralyzed large parts of the country this week.
Do remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV. You can like us on Facebook at Clearview at Clearview TV _NG and on Twitter at Clearview Online. I am Nkiru Obuli. Thank you for watching.